felt very weird. Yeah, it's a little bit bizarre and weird for him to be saying something out of place. Especially something so cheesy and stupid. Like, talk about making people want to fucking retch. But it was so important that you were there for Daniel. Oh, you gotta make like you're doing something. Thank you, Kent, says Janie. You're really going above and beyond there, Pictou. How he worked his way into this case to get himself exalted as the hero of Pictou County. Well, he's been walking around claiming that since day one. People who are active in the community are actually physically active in the community rather than being tied to their and other people's YouTube comment sections all day. We can see the difference. The things that would bother a person who's busy being active and engaging in the community wouldn't be so sensitive about a bunch of strangers that he didn't know talking about him in whatever way they wanted to. But old Kent can't get himself out of any, like this YouTube live streamer, many others, long enough to let some of that real estate build back up in his mind that we're occupying. I don't know what business he has listening to any of us. He should be a little bit more preoccupied with tending to Janie's needs there at the home. Maybe he can go over there and wheel his punk ass around in her driveway and slap some paint on that fucking fence she put up. Make himself useful. Time for the truth is coming in my live chat saying, Sonny getting, hold on for a second. One moment. I got to sort this out. The hell did my picture thing go? Where's that son of a bitch? Look at me when I'm talking about you. Where's that fat prick? If I'm going to be reading these comments, I need him to be up here. Here he is. Look at this. No, he doesn't look fucking sketchy whatsoever, does he? Look at this. Look at this fucking photo. Oh, you put on your best clothes, I can see. Sonny getting Kent to take turns reading was jokes. So was him picking his nose. Some great contributions to his image. Getting some of his snot all worked up. There's some of his goddamn stickers and keychains and things that are for sale on the back picnic table there outside the RCMP office. What a low-class scumbag son of a bitch. Darren said on the second interview with Sonny that his girlfriend was Logan's grandmother, but not Janie. I can't see anyone. Well, we should believe him, shouldn't we? I wouldn't believe him worth a you-know-what. Especially when it comes to his personal life. So then it must be Ron McKenzie's mom. What is her name? It says Logan's grandma. That's Janie's mom. Darren's dating Janie's mom? Is that what you're saying to me? How the fuck old does she have to be? 100? Well, maybe her mom is actually her cousin. And they're probably 10 years different, so she's probably 70-something. He really likes them old. Older the better. Ken is a greasy-looking guy. Maybe he doesn't wash since he lost his leg. Probably sold the fucking thing. Did Derwood intercept these children at the end of the driveway? Was he part of the original alleged Malaya plan to get them out, says MCM? But was he an opportunist after gaining the family's trust? Anita Benitez says, I think Derwood got involved due to DM using rugs as the reason they have to cover up death. True or not, but lots of them people would help because of the rug factor. I don't think so. Listen, I don't think that's a solid argument in that sense. Not that I don't think that you're wrong necessarily about it being a factor, but there has to be something more to tie somebody to the situation. And something more ties Derwood to this situation. We just gotta wait and figure out what it is. It'll be coming out, and it'll come out in time, and it'll be one of the first things that come out when they break this story down. Exactly who is all associated with this. They'll be shaking them down in the interview room. You know it. Robin says, then why would Derwood say that he'd never met Janie? Saw her once at the Dollarama? Well, Robin, because you're getting too used to listening to Derwood's fucking lies all the time. Don't listen to any of them. Don't believe any one thing from him. He's lied to you. He lies to you constantly. The answer to all of that doesn't matter. I mention it to put it out there, to keep it out there as a possibility, rather than it being the truth at any one point in time. Who fucking knows what the truth is with these fucking con artists? Kent looks like he has lots from under cheese, stinky and greasy, Anita Benita. Oh, god damn, that's nasty. Right, Robin, and he talked about her like he knows she's a tough lady, even though that he's never met her, right? Oh, you guys are pointing out the inconsistency in the story rather than... Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry about that. I hear what you're saying. I agree. You guys are pointing out the lies. I hear you, Robin Edwards. Please lose that pic, AB. I cannot bear to look at this fucking piece of shit anymore. Hey, take it easy on this clown. Oh, shit. Almost made it worth bringing up your name, Kent. We should do that like once a show, once an episode. Makes us feel better. Oh, yeah. I like this one. That's from 1111 True Crime. I don't endorse her channel, but that's a good comparison. I made the comparison before she made the pick. Looks a lot alike. Oh. Let's see. Danny. What did you do, boy? What did you do, Daniel? What do you guys think Daniel did? Look, I mean, if he had a violent outburst, he must have had one hell of a violent outburst for it to happen times two. I'm not saying that's to take away from it. I mean, what the hell? Like, he falls in love in 2 weeks on Facebook dating, moves in and imposes his will on. Could you imagine what hell life would have been different for Jack and Lily since that move in? Here's your new daddy. And here's Daniel going around representing himself as new daddy. I'm the new daddy. You've got to listen to me. I'm going to discipline you now. Never, ever should you ever been in that position, Danny. That's probably where he tells... I don't know what she's thinking. Like, what in the hell goes on around there? That's the opposite of protecting your children. Well, she was just so sure that Daniel's just such a top-notch dude because he said so. Just like Derwood says so and Kent says so. Kent, why don't you move in with Derwood? Why don't you guys move in together? You're wondering if he put them up in the woods in that pen and they got forgotten in the night in the cold. Them getting forgotten is a strong possibility considering that he's high on crystal all the time. That he did something as a final step, like they escalated. They kept doing what he said not to do. So it escalated to a point of having to impose some sort of strange and cruel, unusual form of punishment on them, like locking them in one of the playhouses in sub-zero weather and then forgetting about them for how long? Yeah. Well, he suggested that knitted. Yeah, it's hard to say because, hard to say, but I'm not disagreeing. That's a possibility. Yeah, I don't know being Florida. I'm not sure about this whole dog business. I mean, it's a possibility that there's a dog involved in the kid's death. I don't know about that. Like, there's too much, especially now that we know how fast-paced the relationship was in that sense. There wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it to begin with. Not a whole lot of reason for Daniel to be there. So he was going to lie and make himself be whatever it is that he needed to be to get himself through in the moment. And Malaya is quite willing to accept all of those lies as just how things are now. Because we're just so madly in love with one another. It's for the best. And everything's just the right choice at this point in time. Oh, I'm pregnant. They've always had to have had a problem with this fruitcake. How could you not have a problem with idiot here moving into your house after 2 weeks of knowing the gal, Malaya, your granddaughter that you're trying to help? Yeah, I don't know about that here and that yet. There's too much violence going on in the home to think about those possibilities at this point in time. We've got no reason to leave the now allegations, but what's in the paperwork regarding how hands-on old Daniel was. Problem really came into effect in this RV. By the time they had to move out to the RV, their relationship wasn't any better. And things got worse rather than better at any point. Like, there's really no lying to Malaya now, Daniel. Look at what you did. You got her into your trap and moved her out into a fucking dive. What a shithole. You moved her in with a nasty, angry old Janie that had to move out into the driveway in a beaten up old RV supplied by probably Kent. An RV filled with Kent's dirtiness and filth. And his family's. Yeah, I don't know about that. No IFS. I never seen that. Online dating crap, says Canadian Pokey. LOL, what do you expect with jobless dads like Daniel? What is he supposed to do with this time when I chooses not to work? Well, he's getting high and macking ladies. He's trying to attract some ladies. I'd say that was more predatory. You're the one who went and moved in with her. Oh, fuck. You're the one for me, girl. How big's your bed? You got a queen-size bed? I'll move in. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to kiss you good night? Wouldn't it be nice, girl, to kiss you good night every night? Oh, baby. You could have that. Just move me in. You get to see me tomorrow. Then you get to lay beside me as much as you like, as I feel you up and touch and kiss you. Uh-huh. That's greasy. That's dirty, all right, Danny. Of course, these are his messages to another beau, not Malaya. This case could be over soon. Malaya just slipped up and told a lady that she knows where the kids are. I just got off the phone with lead major crimes investigators and told them. Holy fuck. Well, thank God, Columbo. Holy mackerel. This is what this fucking idiot Daniel gets up to. You're looking at it right now. That's the type of thing this idiot gets up to. Imagine the type of nonsense that he put on to Malaya. Like, it had to have been something. And she doesn't have a really great, or let's say she doesn't have an ideal relationship, or she's got a damaged relationship with Cindy, even though she talks to her all the time. But there's still issues, right? I would have to expect it's something along those lines. So where I'm going with that is that she probably wouldn't be in the know in that sense. Like, this would have all happened behind people's backs. It would have been a surprise to everybody in that sense. Oh, I just met this guy. He's really nice. You just met him. Fuck, you just moved him in, you mean? Oh, shit. I just met this guy. Like, just met this guy. That was a short time frame. I just talked to this guy and I moved him in. He's just got such the dreamiest Facebook. I really love those Atlantic salmon that he has up there. Man, he must really know how to provide for a woman. You got a freezer full of fish, boy? You coax her in with all kinds of Atlantic salmon? Holly Jolly. She was so deep in her depression and broken, I think she struggled to get out of bed, defeated. Well, she thinks of being depressed as like being in love. It doesn't matter who it's with. She's going to make it happen. She's ready. She's going to open up her life to a man. And the first man that came around was Danny. Just the first one that doesn't care, because listen, you would have, if you just met Malaya on a dating site, she'd be nice, but she'd probably come across as a little bit too needy. You could see some codependence developing. Like, there's a bit of an issue. Like, she's not exactly independent. She's got 2 children. She must be so fucking busy. How are you ever going to fit in any time for a partner? Well, Daniel took care of that. He moved in and took up all of her time. No need to schedule anymore. I'm just going to be there all the time, girl. Wade said Malaya didn't care what was happening. Daniel beating the children. Why would he say these things if they were not the truth? That's a good point, Esther. I don't say that because I don't want it to be the truth. There's a quick answer for that. I don't want that to be true. But Wade has proven himself to be true and honest in that sense. Like, it wasn't like the things that he were saying were too far of a stretch, nor was he exaggerating. So, I mean, it's kind of on the border of... I think he was bringing it up like from a... I don't know. I'll take it as it is from Wade in that sense. But I guess you could interpret it that as, you could interpret it that as maybe Malaya's a hard person to read. Like, if she's calling us up and telling us that this dude that she's with is beating the kids and like abusing them, why the fuck are you still there? I'd be down there so quick. And he did acknowledge that. Maybe he doesn't feel it's his place. Like, I mean, he's Cindy's boyfriend. It might not be his place to do that with her. Where's her dad? Why was there's somebody else after Cody, Michelle? Wasn't the guy before DM supposedly too controlling for her? And she ended up with this guy? Oh, he's just too controlling. She's probably going on and leading a life, I wonder, that she has no kids. I feel sorry for Jack and Lily about that. Now that I know her, it's interesting to know her history a bit more. But, not that it's any of my business, but it kind of is relevant now. I don't know. I feel that the information, if it's relevant, will come out in due time. I don't want to be the one who prods that personal, especially in a public setting, like in a live stream. I'm not a proponent of interviewing family members that are associated with these tragedies live in real time for the viciousness of a live chat and the randomness and the absurdity of it all. It's a lot more sensitive to have a sit-down, personalized conversation with people and come out of it feeling a little bit better. That way you're not distracted. Jonah Burnham, Malaya seems to be the personality that likes some dominance, that she's confused it with love. Well, yeah, to finish that off, I didn't finish that statement, but maybe the depressive state that she was in, the induced state of depression that she was in, anything opposite of that would be better, would be love in that sense. What she's really looking for is a photo op. She's looking for a man in a photo op. She wants a sugar daddy in that sense. Daniel's probably leading her on that he's got all of this fucking, all of this bling. You know what I mean? Yeah, Maria. Well, her moving her kids in with a man she met online speaks volumes. Sorry, that's my opinion. Well, she moved him in, or he decided to move in with her at Patty's to begin with. When Patty asked him to leave because of their problems, she took him out to Janie's house. Janie didn't like any of it. I'm sure that went over well. But now Janie's pretending like it's just such a normalized thing around the house with actually, well, not actually addressing the real reasons life is the way it is there. She's overlooking it for the sake of simplifying her story. Miss Bartman, your dad would be in jail for murder if you found out you were being abused by your spouse. Oh, yeah. You're not the only one. I mean, I wonder if Wade was trying to express in a way that he wasn't quite sure what to believe. He was certain that it was happening, but he can't quite figure out why she would stay with him. Because at the end of the day, it's her decision to stay or go, no matter how many people are concerned, no matter how many people know, no matter how many people intervene. At the end of the day, just like anything, the individual who's involved has to make that first move, the decision to leave. And that was finally the final influence that Cindy had on her that day. Because I don't think Malaya's the take charge kind of type. She's more of an avoider. Even in every situation. She had the decision that Daniel moved in for her, maybe. You need a man around your house is what you need, honey. I'm going to move myself in. Fuck, what a mistake that is. Like, what a foolish decision that was, Danny. Like, what? Why would you even want to do that, dude? Could you imagine seeing some chick? Like, I can understand saying, oh, having fantasies in your mind, perhaps because you're just so in love with the picture. Even that, dude. What does she look like in real life? To be like, you know what? think I'm going to move in with her. I'm going to pack my Nike sweater in a bag, and I'm going to go over there, and I'm never going to leave. And nobody's going to do anything about it, because this is true love. So what were the types of things that Daniel would try to convince her of staying in this one-sided relationship this entire time? Like, what did Daniel bring to the table when it comes to this relationship? What was your strong suit? What did Malaya learn to value from you? The answer to that is nothing, because they weren't together long enough to know what it is they valued from the other person or with the other person. They didn't build anything together, okay? And the kids naturally were left to grow up with unattentive parents in this circumstance. This is a common thing throughout time. You can go back and read about stories in Victorian times where parents would just lock their kids up in the wine cellar while they went out and maintained their lifestyles. And these kids were locked in rooms, especially ones that required special needs. So there's a pattern here with Malaya that bothers me that starts, unfortunately, way back with the unknown. And I'm satisfied at the time for it to be an unknown at this court case in which she decided to ice out Cody, but still accept monetary child. Usually if you want to ice out, you just cut people out of your lives, never worry about it again. You don't have to fight for fucking custody, because Cody wasn't going out of his way to try to win custody. He's a dude, all right? He didn't want to take the kids. But somehow there's this court battle where she iced them out and Cody turned his head. Didn't want anything more to do with the kids, but yet he was going to pay child support. Can't quite figure that out and how that was going to be expected to work. So obviously something's not right either in the way I'm expressing it or what their intentions were. Who knows? Whatever it was, Cody wasn't in the kids' lives, no matter what the finite details were. And it probably hadn't everything to do with what Malaya wanted in that situation. It always does. It sounds like she was unreasonable. And it's just an early signal of what was to come with the strain of poor decision making. No matter what, you have those kids. You have to take that into consideration over everything else in her life. And it seemed like she was putting herself again before everything else. Like before, I keep wanting to say safety of the kids, but way back then, she was putting her own needs and her own wants and desires and fantasies before what was right for the children. What was she so scared of that she couldn't just go out and be an independent person and be a single mother at this point in time is beyond me. There is nothing holding her back from that other than God knows what. God knows what. I don't know. Obviously, she had different priorities. She wanted to prioritize her love life. I guess there's nothing wrong with that, is there? Technically. But we don't have to leave it up to guesswork because we could see what has happened at this point looking back. You prioritized your life and moved in this fucking dude who was under the influence of substances this entire time. And you stayed with him. And had another child. And that had to have complicated things. Complicated getting out of there. And she doesn't seem to be much of a decision maker to begin with. Like there's no reason behind any of her decisions. They seem to be other people's. Well, I think, Christine, you say having Meadow came with a lot of threats from Janie and DM, in my opinion. I think you're probably right. Because then it would really, to them, it would mean that they're allowed to impose all over Malaya that much more. Have a reason to boss her around. Oh, that's my grandchild. She gives her a reason to be suspicious and talk shit to all of her friends and make you look like shit while trying to make herself look better by calling out your nonsense. One of those types of deals. Instead of actually contributing to a less toxic environment that this poor girl is living in. It was anything but friendly. It was anything but a positive environment for the kids. And when you say that to Janie, she'll want to take that literal. What do you mean? There's a swing set here? No. An emotional hell for children. And Danny's new girl. I suspect that Janie looks at Malaya and she got to know Malaya and was turned off in the same way that we're all turned off about how these two came to know each other to begin with. This is something that should have never fucking happened if it wasn't for Facebook. And you looking at that stupid screen too long. What was it, a decision between Janie and Malaya? Was that your love choices to swipe right or left on? Because you can damn well know that Janie's probably on Facebook dating too. It's probably how she got hooked up with Derwood or Kent.